All right, let's head over towards the castle real quick. Okay, so let's follow along. Let me know if I get too far ahead. So it was a lot of fun to create the island, to think about the landscape and how you want the ground to go and where you want to put trees, because you're limited in the number of objects you can have on a particular island. You're limited to 15,000 objects. That might sound like an incredible amount, but it adds. I have incredible lag, so let's really move. I may need to quit and come back in. So the other thing you need to know about going with Second Life is you're in sort of version 1 or 0.9 of something. So let's see. I wanted to show you one room downstairs, and then I'll take Kit upstairs and show a couple things, and we'll meet you guys back down here. So this castle was created by a woman in the UK. She's a stay-at-home mom, a graphic designer, who decided that this is a good way to market her talent. She sells this castle all over Second Life. So you'll see it in a number of different places. Her original intent, keeping with the interest of Second Life, is meant as an adult entertainment kind of parlor. So it's an F&M castle that she de-customized for us so we could actually put it on Vassar's Island. All right, so you're in a room that we decided to explore about use as art space. We had a faculty member on campus who was interested in looking at Second Life for art purposes. So one of the things we looked at is with respect to scale. The students seldom get an idea of how big things are in the real world. So behind the door, I think Kit was just looking over there. If you turn around, Kit, you'll see a picture of the Last Supper. That gives you a sense of how big the Last Supper actually is in real life. I mean, the students see it on a slide in the front of a room, which is enormous, or they see it in a textbook, which is very small. But seldom do you get a sense of actual perspective. So while you're looking, if I walk up to it, you can get an idea of just how big an image it actually is. On the wall behind us, you'll see two things. Do you see the statue over in the corner of David? All right, that's actually neat. We bought that. We did not build that. Second Life used to allow you to only build with object shapes, spheres, or, cubes, toruses, triangles. So everything you see is built on those fundamental shapes. About 7 months ago, they opened up the ability to create something, and those are called prims, for primitive objects. About 7 months ago, Second Life opened up the ability to include something called sculpted prim, which look much more realistic. So that object was actually created on a computer using a software package called Maya, a computer animation product. And a texture map was created and then imported into Second Life. And so the David looks incredibly realistic, and as you walk around, you will not see anything else in Second Life that looks as realistic as statues like that. In the corner of the room, you see another piece of art that's called the Ghent altarpiece. This was done because the Faculty of Art History teaches this piece and has trouble getting students to appreciate the spatial relationships. So Kit, if you click on one side of the Ghent altarpiece, you'll watch a door open. You'll watch one of the panels open. Then if you click on them again, they'll close. Much nicer animation this time, I think. So students for the first time could take a look at the Ghent altarpiece. Now these are images. The images are Photoshop documents, they're JPEGs that are uploaded into Second Life and then slapped on these primitive objects. So students for the first time could actually see this thing operate, see the spatial relationship between the various images that make up the Ghent altarpiece. Again, proof of concept. The faculty who teaches us actually has brought her class here to see this. It shows the potential of what you can do, and by the way, that is also to scale. So what you can do in an environment where everything is rendered pretty faithfully to scale.
Bret, that's amazing. I've seen that close up.
It is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you say you can have 15,000 objects,
Yep.
does each one of these, like, does the castle count as one object, or is that of objects? Does this painting here count as one object, or is because it's all different JPEGs, is that
Yeah,
count?
I think the JPEGs don't count. Let me see if I can tell you how many objects the painting is. The painting is 3 different primitive objects. It's the centerpiece and the 2 side pieces. Well, no, the painting's about 9 objects that open and close. The castle's 350 objects.
Okay.
But the floor you're standing on, that's 1 object, where the carpet texture is this tiny little 512 pixel by 512 pixel image the size of a postage stamp that's told to repeat. And if you look at the carpet, you can see where the repeats are. The same for the sheetrock on the walls. Look at the sheetrock up, because I have to tell you, it looked pretty macabre to be in a castle with all those dark stone walls.
That is a real bad scene. Fire that carpet layer.
Now, if you go and look behind us, you'll see in the corner, the opposite corner, is a replica of a Calder model. This, when Steve created this, he didn't realize just how small this thing was. Now you can. So if you alt-click on the model and move in, and scroll forward, you can actually see it moves. It moves in time, so you can see the pieces rotate. And you put the white border behind it so you can get a sense of perspective. Right? And then we won't go in the next room, but immediately to the right was an attempt to take a look at what would it be like to create an art gallery. So the images you see in there by one of our faculty named Harry Roseman. If any of you have ever flown into JFK in New York's International Terminal, there's a big sculpture of a curtain. Harry is the artist who did that, commissioned to do that. I created the panels to suspend from the ceiling, so the black lines go up to the ceiling to make it look like clear glass panels, and I mounted each image on a rectangle that looks like foam core, again, to create the illusion of your being in a real gallery.